I think we all said something similar in that there were more females, Black females in dentistry. So why is it that we're seeing more Black females than Black male dentists or dental students? Overall, Black female or Black male dentists, we're still not that many, but how come with the females, there's more of an uptake to dentistry? There's something that we can learn there.
I don't even know if this question is even a Black thing, because even as a profession as a whole, I know dentistry is more female, more females do it. I don't know, I think it's because of the stability and being able to have children and being able to come back to it. I think there's a lot of job security as a dentist for a female. So I think in that aspect, I think that's why a lot more females do it compared to males. Even statistically, girls are smarter than boys. That might be another thing. So there might be a case of them getting the better grades compared to us. So I think it might just be a couple of those issues as to why there's more females doing it as opposed to males.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Do you guys think that there's maybe perhaps more chance for Black men to be led astray compared to Black females? Or do you think that's not really a factor in this?
100%.
So is that when they're in dental school or beforehand? At what point?
Before?
All right, okay.
Yeah, I think combination of Dr. Daps said, like, and TJ, like, I'll say Dr. TJ.
Coming soon.
Queen Mary edition, you know. I think the lifestyle factor, because I remember even working as a nurse at one point before dental school. There was one lady that I was nursing for. She was in her 7th, 8th month of pregnancy. Like, you know, it was really all they had to do is just stagger out the patients. You get what I mean? So that it was very favorable in that respect. And secondly, I think down to social kind of barriers as well, even though there's social stuff for females and stuff like that. I don't want to get into female empowering argument, please. Don't throw anything at me. But I think as men, we go through a lot of social kind of hurdles and social barriers. And I think in the Black community, especially, that kind of hinders. But I just think this new kind of generation where there's like things we touched on, more exposure, more social media, more access. Like, imagine when you guys had to contact another dentist, you had to like write a letter or send an email that you may not even hear anything, but now you just have to follow.
Yeah.
And DM, the access is so swift. I'm not even just saying Black dentists, just in general, the access is so swift, you know, because you can be encouraged or inspired by anyone of any race, you know, but access is so swift, and you know that it's possible. Once you see that it's possible, like I know me being a best young dentist is very possible because Dr. Arnold Lancashire Smiles made it possible for me to believe it's possible. You understand? You know what I mean? So once people can see that it's possible, you find that, you know, it's all good.
I want to ask you, Dr. Dapaah, so who do you look at as role models, Black male role models in dentistry? And where have you found them? Good question. So one of the things I realized very much earlier on, like this whole discussion, this whole argument, I realized there was no one to really that I knew. So I kind of tried to find. So I'm very fortunate. One of the other practices, the principal there is a 70-year-old Ghanaian, my boss, one of the other practices. So I go to him, I call him dad, you know. So that's one person that my business partner, Dr. Jamal Johnston, he's also a co-partner of Dove Dental. He's the person, he's the real boss, man. I'm just the funny person on social media. He's the one that I go to and say, oh, Doc, I've seen this new kind of equipment, this cool composite heater.
can we please buy it? Are we allowed? No, that's how I go to, you know. And the thing about him was, and I was in a discussion in a forum like this some weeks ago. And the thing about him, he owns 2 practices. He's a VT trainer, therapist trainer, been in dentist for 25 years, came from Ghana, did preclinical studies there, then came here, studied in Manchester. And he had access to a lot. So for example, when we came to open Dove Dental and stuff like that, we agreed that I would be the person that would do maybe the more clinical days, because I was the younger person and the more energetic and but he had access to the bank managers, you know, he knew them, you know, he had access to so much things. He when it comes to the running of the financial decisions of the business, you have that cushion there. You know, I'm the person that brings the kind of marketing ideas or the social kind of stuff or the new kind of clinical stuff that coming out, because I'm always going on courses and stuff. But he's the person that kind of navigates the whole kind of thing. And once you connect yourself, so that's what for me, when the whole Dove Dental idea came about, and I told him, he was like, "Oh, Kevin, this sounds amazing. Let me invest in you." I said, "No, uncle." I call him uncle. I said, "No, uncle. Forget invest. I want you to be part of it." And he goes, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, I'm nearing retirement." It's me, "No, doc, please, I'm begging you. Like, I want you to be part of it." And now we'll be doing other ventures soon. And you know, because the setup we got is so strong, it just makes sense, you know. And I would just encourage you guys or anybody watching this that, you know, really connect yourself to someone. And what I used to do, sorry, I skipped a few things. When I first met him through a family friend, and I saw him, I took his card, and I didn't get into my VT place. I didn't get anywhere in England in the first round. You know what I mean? I was bottom 30 in the whole thing. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother forum. You know, God makes a way. But I found him, and, you know, and I used to meet up with him once a quarter. I should take him out for lunch. You know, sometimes he'd be with his wife. I'll take them both out. I'll pay, you know, I will do that to pick his brain. Then then he had his old practice, which he now sold. And he took me there in 2016 or 2015 or 2016 on a Sunday. And he said, "Kevin, I know one day you want to own your practice. So I'm taking you to show you. Once again, show me it's possible." So when the idea came around and the whole situation of Dove came around, he was the first person I spoke to. I'm also part of the Ghana Doctor and Dentist Association. So I'm also part of that, and serve on the exec board of that. And there's lots of other dentists, you know. So once again, when the Dove situation came about, I took one of the dentists, the principals, to lunch, and I said, look at this. What do you think? You know, and these guys, because they know the struggle, they know how it is, they're more than happy to help and to show. So one thing I encourage you guys that, you know, really, 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 because it just makes your life easier. If you know what I mean, recommendation, word of mouth, you know, "Oh, do you know someone can do this?" Yeah. You know what? It's a phone call. Boom. That's it. And one thing I'd say is that I don't do it on the biggest scale, as a bigger scale as Dr. Arnold, but I do help young people get into medicine and dentistry. And I'll tell you something. Every single person I've helped get into medicine, dentistry, or dental therapy, and they've been Black because through family friends, they've all got in.
100% record.
Listen, because they know it's possible, and I grilled them so much they can't even remember their name when they leave. I finished them, seriously. But I'm like an uncle. I flipping electrocute them, seriously. But by the time they go out and they come back, seriously, they all got in. Why? Not because they're less clever or whatever, because they belief, they see it's possible, and you show them, and it's, you know, and it's all good.
Well, why is that a thing for you? Why are you vested in doing that?
Because, listen, my story is this. I failed my A-levels. I didn't know what to do. My headmaster told me, forget dentistry. Before that, I came from the road. So I come from there, failing my A levels, then doing a course in dental materials, nearly failing that, just about coming out with a 2-1. Then worked as a dental nurse, earning £7 an hour as a graduate for 1 year. My boss at the time told me, he's a renowned prosthodontist, told me, I'm stupid, I've got nothing between my ears, I can never be a dentist, all that kind of stuff. And he left, but I still stayed in. After that, then going on to dental school, then spending 4 years in Plymouth Southwest, spending 6 months of that in Cornwall. Once again, that's another different experience. And then having to then go through, the whole VT processes. Our first year when to introduced it, the model, so there was no past papers or anything like that. After when we did the practice, can you believe I was helping a lot of people doing the practices and stuff? And imagine I didn't get a place. Everyone was shocked, And after going through that, I didn't have a VT, but I was thinking, right, how can I come back to my ends? How can I come back to my people, my church, my family, and say, oh, I'm a dentist, but there's no job? What? What do you mean no job? What? Like, you know what I mean? So halfway through my final years, as Dr. Dapaah said, it was very tough for me. I then had to go to Scotland. I did my VT in Scotland. Yeah? Telling you guys something. I did VT in Scotland. Wasn't Glasgow, wasn't Edinburgh, wasn't Aberdeen, wasn't Inverness, in the north of Scotland.
The sticks.
In the sticks. When I look at my bedroom window, I could see the sea. You know when they say Northern Lights? People, I could see Northern Lights from my room, homie. Like, that's how mad it was, yeah? And why that situation was very difficult, because in England, the system is centralized. So you go to 1 day, one interview. You know what I mean? Like 1 day, one interview, and then that's what you get on with your life. But I don't know how it is now, but the Scottish system, it's different. You go to individual practices, you apply with your CV, individual. So I went for 12 interviews, studying for finals, preparing for finals, missing out clinical time. We're trying to get your clinical targets up, trying to finish your cases that you want to present. So I missed out all of that. Then going to these different interviews, and they will tell you, okay, so you go to uni in the southwest of England. Why have you come to Inverness? And you're like, because I love the Highlands, outdoor, blah, blah, blah. You do Wikipedia of you're saying key things. My partner's looking to live up here, all sorts of stories. Why? To try and make life happen. Then, so, you know what? I'll be fair with you. Being a people person, as we kind of said, we touched on earlier. I all my interviews apart from one, they all accepted me, they all ranked me, all that kind of. There's a ranking system and all of that they got there. And I came across this Irish businessman, owns 6 practices, and he told me, Kevin, I know you're interested in business. He said, if you come, he said, I know it's far, but he said, if you come and you join me, not only will you learn dentistry, but you learn business. And then I had to make the decision to go up there, and I did. And I tell you guys, that's one of the best experiences I've ever had. To where I am now, that was a key thing, and it was all God. So when I look at the trajectory on what I had to go through to try and do this, yeah, you think, man, you can only help and look after people who want to try and achieve and make the situation more smoother. That's why I like people like Dr. Boni when we start speaking. I think I said to you the other day, bro. I said, whenever you're ready, the doors are always open.
Yeah, you said, I'm going to take you up on that. I'm coming.
Yeah. TJ as well, bro. As for Arnold, I need to come to there.
Honestly, I said, But
seriously, the door's always open, because once we can see that, like it's possible, and I'm bound. I know that I will learn something from all of you. You understand? And I think we should have a link up, to be fair, at some point.
Yeah,
Definitely.
But I'm just trying to say, like, to know the stuff and the stuff in between that I had to go through, and you're thinking, yo, it's only really God that made life, made it possible. And I think the issue of faith, I mean, I had nothing but my faith to count on, to get me through this journey. So that's why I say, you know what, if I could help anybody and contribute and help, I'll definitely do that,
Before we close it off, I just want to ask Dr. Daps and TJ, what are you enjoying about dentistry right now? So if any other Black guys are watching and they're thinking of dentistry and they're listening to this, what are you enjoying about dentistry right now?
For me, what I like at the moment, I just like there's so many different aspects to it. You can pick the bits that you like, bits that you don't like. So for me, I don't like endo. I'm just not a big fan. But it's just constantly learning. So one thing that I thought that I was always going to try and get into was a little bit of ortho. So that's like moving a little bit of the teeth. So I've recently just finished my Invisalign course. And there's just also like little bits that you can also keep on learning. I just feel like your 5 years in uni is not the end. It can never be the end. It's always continued professional development where you're always gaining skills. I feel like if you're not learning something new, at least one thing in dentistry in the year, then you're staying still. You're stuck in the mud. Like you need to keep on moving. There's always something new. Like as we said, the Smart Fast course, that's the new innovation that came out. I think it's been out a couple of years, but a lot of people are jumping on the course, and it's just a new way of doing things. So it's just a profession whereby we keep on learning. It just keeps you on your toes. For me, that's what I like about dentistry. It's not set in stone. You've done your 5 years. That's it. Do what you need to do.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Like, I think the words I'd use is so versatile and just ever evolving. Like you can just look, even like within your dental schools or within your practices, I'm sure you'll see like some people are doing completely different things to other people, and there's so many avenues of growth. And as you said, you never stop learning. Like that, I've never really looked at any work I've done clinically and thought, well, that is absolutely perfect. It's always like, oh, maybe I could have done that or this or that. And I feel like when you involve that, especially with people and working with people and communicating, and you're getting that side of it as well, you get that fulfillment from like helping someone or changing their habits or anything like that, or treatment. I just feel like it's so fulfilling, and that the fact that you can always grow, there's so many avenues to learn from, whether you want to work in hospital, you end up doing public health, education. Some people can even work private practice part-time, then do other things in the other times. You have control over your time, and you have that financial freedom you can get from it as well. So I think, honestly, I really do think dentistry is a great profession. Everyone should consider it.
Honestly.
Yeah.
To round it off, I want to ask one question to everybody. What are you listening to right now in terms of music or podcasts? What's the top food that you're into right now? And what team do you follow? Any sports? So let's kick it off with Dr. Dapaah, and then we'll come down.
Say the question again, bro. What?
So sports team. What are you listening to? Music or podcast, and food. What's your top food?
So in terms of, I'm not really a big football fan, unfortunately, but as you probably know, I'm a boxing fan. So love boxing. Yeah. The Mayweathers, the AJs, all the rest of it. Love boxing. In terms of podcasts, there's quite a few actually.
Are you doing podcasts, or are you listening to like music artists? Which one are you more into?
Both, man. Both.
Yeah.
Both. So love a gospel. Also like your Afro beats, hip hop, drill, all that kind of stuff, rap. It's kind of a mix, really. Podcasts, quite a few. So I listen to Drink Champs. That's run by Noriega. It's like so he was a rapper, but he gets all like these like different rappers, and they talk about the music business and people's lives and stuff, and how they can navigate it through the music. And I mean, if I could, man, I would love to be in the music business, man. I'm a music executive, man. Trust me, it's just serious. But yeah, so there's something called Winners Talking podcast by a guy called Pound Sterling. I like listening to, and Doug. And there's another one called CEO Cast, but business owners, different industries. I like listening to. Food have to be the jollof, man.
Where from? Jollof from where?
Come on, man. GH, man, Basmati 100. But fried plantain, sweet plantain, that kind of thing. So yeah, man, cool.
Good. Okay, Dr. Daps.
So in terms of football, my scarf is up there. The red and white. It's an Arsenal scarf. I'm an Arsenal fan. We're not really doing well at the moment, but as everything, we go through bad patches, but we're going to be back. In terms of music, I'm an Afrobeats guy. So it would be Wizkid, Burna Boy, Naira Marley, all of those guys. My Spotify songs of the year came, and it was Afrobeat.
Who was it, top artist?
Top artist, that Burna Boy.
Mine was Burna Boy as well, yeah. Okay.
Burna Boy. Yeah. And in terms of podcasts, I don't really listen to podcasts. The one that I've got into recently, the three guys, it's called The 90s Baby Show. And it's nothing to do with dentistry. It's just a case of they were just three black guys that would just chop it up about things that go on in the world, which is pretty good, to be fair. I also think it's nice to have different things away from dentistry as well. So I also do that. And then in terms of foods, yeah, African foods, J rice, fried rice, all that good type of stuff. Nice. That's what I like.
Cool. From a sports background, you know what? I'm a Liverpool fan, and I've been a Liverpool fan all through growing up. But actually, surprisingly, in uni, I've stopped watching football as much. I don't know what actually caused that. I don't know. I think I had some time trouble finding streams or something for some point. I was just like, forget it. And then Liverpool started doing well as well, since I stopped watching it as much. So yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan. I've got at least 10 shirts upstairs to prove that. But I've also recently, following the stereotype, I've been getting into NBA recently. So I'm really liking basketball. Like, I think it's an amazing sport, and I wish it was bigger in the UK. I've been playing it and also watching it. Season's starting soon, so yeah, I'm not actually following a specific team yet, but I'm really liking the basketball scene. In terms of podcasts, well, number one stop is going to be my own podcast, The Unraveling Show. So if you guys haven't listened, make sure you do. I've actually got a new episode coming soon.
The Unraveling Show.
Yeah, that's the one, man. That's it. Yeah. So I started that just because I loved hearing other people's stories. So I just thought, you know what, picked a few of my friends, who were my guys. Let me pick your brain. Let's talk about stuff. Had a few debates as well. Like, should we be eating meat? Talking about, is marriage outdated? All that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
you said you shouldn't be eating meat.
Well, I didn't say anything. That's the question. You have to listen to find out. You have to listen to find out what the debate said. But yeah. But I do listen to a lot of podcasts in general. I really like them. So really, I kind of shifted a little bit. So like when I'm commuting, like I just came back home for Christmas, so 2-hour train. All I do is stick on podcasts. I mean, on my page, you'll see I always post the ones I'm really into. But yeah, there's loads, man. I'll be here all day if I listen to them. Music perspective. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of the Rap Game UK, some BBC iPlayer.
Very good.
But yeah, Cretin Conan's show where they're trying to find new talent, rap talent in the UK. I'm loving that. Recently, I've been binging the season 1 and 2, and consequently, I've been listening to a lot of Cretin Conan as well. So that's what my music been recently. And then when you say food, yeah. So I came back yesterday, and it turns out Mum was working, so there was no food waiting for me on the table. So I had to get in the kitchen myself, roll up my sleeves, and then just made some chicken wings and potato wedges. So that's what I was craving. So yeah, it was chicken wings for me.
Yeah. Hey, for me, it's Man United all day, every day. Manchester United. I'm Team Ole out. So take us back to the glory days.
If you want to go
in terms of music. In terms of music, yeah, Afro beats. It's got to be Afro beats. You know, one thing I envy about Dr. Dapaah is you can get to control the playlist in his practice. So I can't wait until people come into the whole practice, and it's just Afro beats, That's one of my dreams.
It's our time, man. Trust me.
podcasts, I listen to, there's one called The Complicated Ish. It's two Christian rappers in America. They just chop it up with social issues. I listen to Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher. He does a good podcast as well. In terms of food's got to be sadza, Zimbabwean traditional dish. Sadza. It's got to be sadza and oxtail.
Man, Zadza's nice, man, nice.
That's the one. That's the one. That was it, isn't it? Podcast, music, food, and sports team. Yeah. No, thank you guys for coming on today. We have to meet some point in the future. We have to meet. Yeah. But yeah, no, thank you for coming on. And guys, if you're listening, you want to get in touch with any of these other guys, I'm going to put their details in the description. So make sure to follow them on Instagram and get chatting to them. We'll see you guys at the next one.
I'm hoping to apply to dentistry as a graduate, and today I entered the Dental Mentor MMI interview practice. I learned a lot more about the types of interview questions, how to portray myself at interview, and I also got a lot of helpful feedback on things I should change, things I should say, and things I shouldn't say. So overall, I found this experience very, very helpful.
It's really helped my confidence. Up until now, I was really worried about the interviews. I didn't think I really knew how to do it and didn't think I'd do particularly well, but after today I have a lot more confidence in myself. I realised that actually I can do it and it is doable.
The workshop today really helped me a lot with the interview prep. They gave really constructive comments and very personalized comments as well, so I really enjoyed it.
If you're thinking about studying dentistry, whether you're in college or whether you're in a degree right now, I think just have a chat with them and they will help you from start to finish.